Hello everyone, and I hope you're having a happy Tuesday. Today we are going to be talking about trains in our Pete the Cat story. So we're going to go over our terms first and then we'll hop right into our story. So our first term is the word conductor. So let's clap it out and see how many syllables it has. Conductor. 3. Part of speech is a noun. Remember, a noun is a person, a place, or a thing. And in this case, a conductor is a person. It's someone who drives a train. For example, the train conductor blew his horn to warn others he was coming. So have you ever been in the car and you've heard and you've seen a train track and you've seen the train crossings coming down and then you hear the that's the train conductor letting people know that he's coming by so no one will get hurt, okay? The next term we have is a cargo train. So let's clap that out and see how many syllables we have. Cargo train. 3. Okay, we're working with 2 words here, okay? And the first word, cargo, is an adjective. And remember, an adjective describes a noun. So the adjective cargo is describing the noun train. It's saying what type of train it is. There are 2 types of trains. The first one we're going to talk about right now is a cargo train. So the word cargo is an adjective, and the word train is the noun. So a cargo train is a train that carries goods. So like things you see in the stores, maybe lumber, or just things like that. For example, the cargo train brought sugar to another state. So the other type of train is a passenger train. So let's change some things around. So let's take the word cargo off and let's put passenger. And let's change the word goods to people. And let's change the word sugar to people as well. All right, so let's read this again now. Now our new term is passenger train. Let's clap it out. Passenger train. Passenger train. 4 syllables this time. The word passenger in this case is an adjective because it's describing what kind of train it is. In other instances, it is a noun. So, but the passenger in this case is an adjective describing the noun, which is still train. A passenger train is a train that carries people, okay? For example, now we need to change cargo to passenger. So we're gonna say the passenger train. The passenger train brought people to another state. I have never been on a passenger train, but that is something that I want to do one day. So let's go ahead and jump into our story. I want you to look for the words conductor, and you're going to look for cargo train in this story. So let's get started. Last week we talked about Pete the Cat showing his appreciation to his mom and dad, and I hope you all did that last week, and I hope you continue doing that with your parents. Okay, so this story is entitled Pete the Cat's Train Trip. If you've ever been on a train, make sure you write Miss Davis and let me know how that was. Okay. Pete the Cat cannot wait to visit his grandma with his mom and his brother Bob. They get to ride a train. Make sure you don't lose your ticket, says Mom. She gives 1 ticket to Pete and 1 to Bob. Pete looks up at the big board. Our train is leaving at 10 o'clock, he says. A train speeds by. That's not our train. That's a cargo train, Bob tells Pete. It's finally 10 o'clock and the train arrives at the station. All aboard, calls the conductor. Pete is so excited. He's the first one on the train. So now Pete is a passenger on the train. So I want you to think about it. Is Pete getting on a cargo train or a passenger train? Pete's mom finds 3 seats together. I can't wait to see Grandma, says Bob. I can't wait to explore the train, says Pete. The conductor comes to collect the tickets. Pete hands to collect the tickets, and Pete hands over his. I love trains, says Pete. Really? I can show you around if you'd like, says the conductor. Pete nods his head, and the conductor gives Pete an engineer's hat. Great, let me introduce you to the engineer, says the conductor. Pete follows the conductor from car to car as the floor rumbles under his feet. Wow, Pete says when they get to the caboose. We're going over a bridge. Now, I want you to think about where a caboose is on the train. So remember, when we line up in line, we have a line leader, we have a caboose, okay? Well, I would say the caboose is very important because they can check and see if everyone in line is following directions. So I want you to use those clues that you know and tell me where the caboose of the train should be. Pete sees his mom and Bob. They are at the snack bar. I got this for you, says Bob. So Bob got Pete a nice apple. Pete follows the conductor. He goes to the front of the train. Come in, says the conductor. Wow, Pete says. The engineer shows him the engine and how everything works. The engineer shows Pete the train's brakes. Look, there's a tunnel up ahead. When they go through the tunnel, everything gets dark. Pete gets to honk the horn. Toot, toot. It's so much fun. Once they are out of the tunnel, everything is light again. They're almost at Grandma's house. Pete better get back to Mom and Bob. Thanks for showing me around, Pete says. He learned so much about trains today. Anytime. Have fun with your grandma, says the engineer. Pete walks back to his seat where Mom and Bob are. It is a much longer walk than he remembered. He stops and meets new friends along the way. They live in different towns. They are getting off at different stops. What a groovy ride. There's Pete's seat. It's good to see Mom again. We are getting off at the next stop, says Mom. Pete is happy he made it back to his seat in time. He can't wait to see Grandma. Toot toot! Pete looks out the window and sees Grandma. He waves at her from the window. Once the train doors open, Pete is the first one off the train. He rushes over to give Grandma a big hug. It feels good. How was the ride over? Asked Grandma. It was groovy. I got a cool hat and met the engineer, says Pete. Pete loves riding the train. He even drew a picture of the train for Grandma. Grandma loves it. What a special day. Okay, so as we're talking about this, I want you to think about maybe one vacation you had that was very special and how you got there. Have you been on a plane? Have you been on a train? Have you been on a cruise ship or a boat? So let me know what's been your favorite way to travel, and that will be our discussion for this week in Microsoft Teams, okay? I also want you to make sure you're paying attention to the personification that is in these Pete the Stories books. We know they are fiction. That means it's fake or make-believe. One obvious reason for that is that we know animals don't talk. Animals don't buy tickets to buy to don't buy train tickets. They don't go visit their grandmothers, and they don't talk, and they're not conductors. We saw that a dog was the train conductor or the train engineer, okay? So remember, personification is when the author gives animal characters and has his animal characters acting like people. Okay, so personification is when an animal is acting like a person in a story. Okay, so I will see you next week, and it looks like next week we're gonna talk about Pete the Cat's scuba hat. So this story happened on a train. I want you to take what you can see here, then the word scuba, to figure out where the setting of this story might be. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.